My name is Alan Jackson. Today I'm introducing the project I've spent the last 4 or 5 months working on, Pokermetrics. Pokermetrics is a database analysis of unparalleled sophistication designed for short-handed, no-limit, full-stack players. Pokermetrics is the culmination of my work over the past 5 years breaking down my own database and the databases of my students. I'm a longtime professional poker player making my living from poker for the past 6 or 7 years. I've produced videos for Blue Fire Poker for the past 2 years. I created Note Caddy Advantage. I'm the co-owner of a backing group. I'm one of the more popular coaches in poker. I'm best known for my utilization of stats and use and hold a manager to break down databases. My private coaching is expensive and outside the budgets of most students. I've developed Pokermetrics in order to do my analysis in much greater detail and for a lower cost. I can then focus my private coaching hours on fixing the problem areas rather than doing all the filtering in session. I will also be selling the Pokermetrics report by itself. I strongly believe that database analysis is by far the best way to improve your results. Database analysis will give you the pieces of the puzzle that you need to improve your game. Given a sufficient sample size, there's nothing subjective with database analysis. Traditional coaching can fail when the coach doesn't fully articulate or understand the reasoning behind their lines. For many coaches, myself included, some of the factors that influence the line we take in specific situations are considered at an almost subconscious level. It's easy to forget to include that information when breaking down a situation. Copying a coach's moves may not work due to differences in your sight, stakes, and especially your image. An aggressive 5-10 reg betting the river super thin likely won't work as well at 100 no limit, as your opponents are much less likely to bluff catch super thin. Many great poker players make negative EV moves out of habit or bad assumptions. That's not meant as a criticism. It's just that many spots are not easily evaluated through standard means. Only large database analysis works. Through fine-tuning your game, you add a fraction of a big blind to your big blind per 100 win rate with each adjustment. Pokermetrics is designed to show you a series of spots where you can find that fraction of a big blind. Collectively, if consistently executed, these adjustments will add significantly to your win rate. Today's games are tough. Table selection and solid poker aren't enough to achieve a strong win rate. In order to win in today's games, we have to make fewer mistakes than our opponents, force our opponents to make mistakes, and capitalize on our opponents' leaks. Pokermetrics evaluates every spot where you have a reasonable sample size. Through breaking down your results and comparing your results to the winning red group, your leaks and the spots where you're missing value will be highlighted. Here's a screenshot of just one small portion of the Pokermetrics report. To the left, you'll see your frequency, profit, and sample size. The fourth and fifth columns are the frequency and profit of the winning reg group. The winning regs are a large database, roughly 2 million hands, from a group of very strong winning players. These players have an average win rate of around 5 big blinds per 100, and I know and have coached all of them. You can see to the right of each of your numbers that they're color-coded. Green means that you're fairly close, yellow means that you're just a little bit off, and then red is significantly off. I could spend quite a bit of time talking about what I see in just this small portion of the report. 3 spots jump out at me. The first would be this player's fold versus array. The second line is folding flop c-bet versus arrays heads up in a single raise pot. SRP stands for the pre-flop action. So single raise pots only, no 3-bet, no 4-bet pots, no limpers either. So we can see that this player folds 56% of the time when faced with the raise, where the average is 51.3. A pot size raise on the flop requires 50% fold frequency to break even with bluffs. He's folding at 56%, so there's a chance that he's inviting some bluffs here. Not surprisingly, the other 2 areas I notice is how he plays against a raise. The first one is line 5, defending a flop raise when c-betting the flop heads up weak, which is less than top pair. We can see that he will defend 17% of the time when faced with a raise with his hand value versus the winning regs frequency of 20.3%. Even more important is his win rate when defending light, minus 165.7. All profits are in big blinds per 100. A lot of players that aren't experienced with database analysis will just see that negative number and say, oh, that's bad, he's losing money. That's actually not the case. Whenever you're evaluating a defense spot, you have to evaluate it against your folding costs. In this situation, we can look at the second line and look at his folding flop c-bet versus raise heads up single raise pot and see that when On average, when he folds against the raise, he's losing 720 big blinds per 100. A win rate that loses less than that is actually a positive win rate. So in this situation, since he's only losing 165 when defending light, that means he's profiting roughly 560 big blinds per 100, around 5.5 big blinds per defense, which is, obviously huge. He's doing much better than winning red groups. From line 5, I would conclude that he's too tight when facing a raise when holding less than top pair. The second thing I note is how this player responds versus a raise when he's holding top pair, top kicker, plus. We have two lines here. We have calling the flop raise and then re-raising the flop raise. This player tends to call a lot more against raises, calling 70% of the time when holding top pair, top kicker plus, whereas the winning red group at 55.2, he's only re-raising 28% of the time, and the winning red group is at 38.6. Most importantly are the profit figures. When this player calls, he's only winning 926.8, and then when he re-raises, he's winning 1952.3. And this brings us another area where the winning regs numbers can help you in your analysis. We can see that their profit figures back this trend up, that calling a flop raise yields less profit than re-raising a flop raise. That's not to say that one play is automatically better than the other. The way you should interpret this is that re-raising the flop will generally lead to better results, and so if the decision is fairly close, then re-raise should be the way to go. For this particular player, since this player's frequencies are significantly off the winning regs frequencies, there's some sort of mistake in his thought process. There's something that he's missing to determine between raising and calling. What I would suggest in this spot is filtering for facing a raise on the flop, single raise pot, heads up, holding top pair, top kicker better, and start replaying the hands. Look at the hands that you called with, look at the hands that you re-raised with, and from that, rethink this spot and come up with a new game plan when facing a raise with this hand strength. As you can see, this report's going to provide a tremendous amount of information about your game and give you the direction that you need to take your game in. It's not going to be an easy process, and I don't want you to buy this product thinking that overnight it's going to change your game. It's going to require a lot of work on your part. Pokermetrics pushes you in the right way. It shows you where you need to be adjusting your game so that you can then think about what factors you should consider in deciding what lines you should take. It's that last step that my private coaching focuses on in helping you figure out what factors you should consider in deciding which line you're going to take. I'm not a forming winning player who's now coaching because he can't win. In increasingly tough games, my win rate has improved. This is a screenshot of 1,000,000 hands prior to Black Friday. This is another screenshot around Black Friday ending around February of last year, 500,000 hands. And this is my current database on Party Poker where I play most of my volume. If you're interested in purchasing this product, you can email support@ajaxonpoker.com. In the description of this video, you'll find a link to my 2+2 coaching ad for Pokermetrics. You can find more information about this product, along with pricing and reviews.